Hello, math students. Welcome back to Module 11 called Geometry. This is Lesson 6, and it is called Drawing Geometric Shapes. That's the name of our lesson today, Drawing Geometric Shapes. Our goal for today we are going to learn how to use a compass, a protractor, and a ruler to draw geometric shapes. All right, so the first thing that we have to talk about with the question is, how do you use a compass to draw simple figures? And hopefully by the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to do that. So things to know. Some things to know that are kind of important are called vocabulary words, and they are the protractor, the ruler, the compass, and the set square. So a protractor is a measurement tool that provides you with degrees and lengths. This right here is a protractor. Many of you have seen them, probably played with them, but maybe didn't know exactly how to use them. So I am going to be teaching you how to do that. So one thing that I would like to do is I'm going to draw a picture of a protractor. I would like you to draw the picture of the protractor so that when I ask you to get out a protractor or I give you a protractor, you will know what it is. And that's not drawn perfectly to scale, but it gives you an idea. Now there's a little center point on every protractor that has a 0. And that center point tells you where you're supposed to start. And then your numbers, there's a ruler that works all the way around that goes in both directions. Okay, and then the other thing that it does is it also provides degrees. And the degrees happen to be these little marks that I'm drawing on right here. So these degrees actually tell you the size of the angle measure. The reason why this 0 is placed here is because if you go directly up from the 0, so say about here, this is 90 degrees, and it will say that on the protractor. And then this over here on this line, if we extended it out, it would be 0 degrees because that's where the unit circle starts. And then if you remember, believe it or not, this would be 180 degrees because this is a straight angle. Now, the way that you use a protractor is you set that 0 spot, that is your protractor, on the starting point of a line segment, and when it tells you that it wants you to draw an angle that has 23 degrees on it, you would take that protractor. So let's say this is the spot that I want to start on, okay? And I'm supposed to draw an angle that has 27 degrees. So right here, I know it's hard to see, that's the 0 spot that they're talking about. And you want to line it up so that you have a straight line. And if I need 23 degrees, if you'll notice that right here, it starts counting. So here's our 10, here's our 20, here's our 30. So this is 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 sits about there. So I make the mark on the outside of the protractor because that's how I use the measurements. And then what you're supposed to do is you're just supposed to draw a line connecting your original point to the mark that you made out there. Okay, so that is connecting those 2 points. Okay, and then I have to make a straight angle mark from right here. So if I do that, I draw a line here, and that's the straight angle mark, and then I just continue drawing it out so that it is a straight line. And then what you have just drawn using a protractor is an angle that measures 23 degrees. Okay, and that's how you use a protractor to draw angles. Okay, today we are going to learn how to use a compass, a protractor, and a ruler to draw geometric shapes. Well, this is just the angle. So then if I went ahead and drew a perpendicular line from here, okay, and it should measure, if I did it correctly, it should measure, if you follow it all the way up, 90 degrees. So then I know that this right here is a 90, and I can put that in there. And you have just drawn your first triangle, okay? And so that's how you use protractors to measure out the angles, and then you use the other tools to help you create the geometric shape that can be drawn. So that's a protractor. Okay, the next tool that we want to talk about, you guys have actually used a lot, and that is the ruler. So we're just going to draw a quick ruler here. And rulers can be measured with inches or centimeters, and typically it would look like this, and then a long one. Oops. And then another long one. Why do I keep putting a dot? That is so crazy, because I think I'm drawing the letter I. That's silly. Okay. And so then this would be a 1, this would be a 2, this would be a 3, and so on. And that's how we have rulers, okay? And rulers, their important job with drawing geometric shapes is when you're given actual side lengths of the shape. So if you're supposed to draw a rectangle that has the side lengths of 2.5 and 1, then we would use the ruler, and I don't have a ruler, so I'm just going to guesstimate, that this would be about 2.5, so we're going to say this is 2.5 inches, and then about 1 inch, I would say, is about here, so this would be about 1 inch. If I had a ruler, I would be using it, but I don't. I forgot all of my rulers at school, so I'm sorry. But you use your ruler to actually measure out the distances so that you can draw the geometric shape that you're trying to create. Okay, so that's the ruler. Now the compass, each one of you should have a compass because we talked about purchasing them. This compass that I have to show you is the ones that we have at school, but they're not the ones that I asked you to buy because this little tip, for some odd known reason, likes to break and then it doesn't work. The ones that I showed you that have the adjustable knob up on the top are actually much better than these, but this is a compass. And typically what we use a compass for is to do our circle work. Okay, it's so that you can draw a perfect circle and you can adjust the little pencil guide that you have right here. And then basically what you do is that the compass helps you draw the arc marks that we were talking about in class. Okay, they also help you if you keep your papers, or if you keep the point of your compass still and you turn your paper, the compass also helps you draw perfect circles. Okay, and so the cool thing about compasses, or yeah, it's compasses, it's not compass eye, which just sounds funny. The compasses is that they help you measure your angles so that you get to create the correct angle measure. So a compass is a measurement tool that provides you the length and the ability to draw arcs and circles. And when I'm saying it provides you length, is that, well, if we needed to find out that from here to here, you would put your compass on your ruler and you would measure, okay, this circle needs to be, let's say it's 1.5 inches radius. So you would mark it like that, and then you'd come over here, and you would mark it right here, and then you know that from this point in the center, where I poked my sharp part of it, that's the center, and then this from here to here measures 1.5, and this from here to here measures 1.5, and then you know that your radius was done correctly for your circle, because here's your center right here, that's 1.5, that's 1.5, and so it has a diameter of 3. So you can also use it to determine your lengths when you're drawing things out. So that's a compass. They're pretty fun, okay? And then a set square, I don't have one here, I have one at school, but a set square, some of you may have seen them if you bought those geometry kits that a lot of you purchased where they have a whole bunch of tools that come in a box. Well, a set square is cool because the set square looks like this hard triangle, and it actually looks like a 90-degree triangle, and then the plastic comes down like this, and then out of the middle they have this, and then it comes down like this, and then along the bottom you have a ruler, and the ruler tells you what the distance is. And there I did it again, I dotted my I. But again, you have a ruler going up the side here, and so what we use these for is we use these to draw, believe it or not, they're really cool, and we'll try them in class. But what they do is they help you draw parallel lines that are equidistant from each other. So if you make specific sizes, points, so you use the set square and you mark out the distance of what it's supposed to be this way and how high up it's supposed to be this way, and then you use the slanted side of the set square to draw the two dots connecting, and then you slightly shift it this way and you draw another one, and then you have a perfect set of parallel lines. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. What shapes do we draw that require you to have perfect parallel lines? And if you're thinking correctly, which I hope you are, there's a hint right above you with the ruler, we need to have perfect parallel lines to draw what? We need perfect parallel lines to draw rectangles, right? We need perfect parallel lines to draw parallelograms. Parallelograms, I think that's how you spell it. Okay. We also need perfect parallel lines to draw squares. Okay. You have to have parallel lines to draw trapezoids. So as you can see, just by this little list right here, that you need parallel lines in order to draw those shapes, and it's really nice to have a tool that helps you draw the parallel lines when you know that they're perfectly parallel. So a set square is a measurement tool that provides you the ability to draw parallel lines. They're really cool. And if you don't have one, we will make one with cardstock because you have to try and practice these, and it's really fun. All right, so going back to our goal, today we are going to learn how to use a compass, a protractor, and a ruler to draw geometric shapes. The question that I want you to be thinking about was, how do you use a compass to draw simple figures? If you can't quite figure out that answer yet, then I will show you when we do some practice in class. All right, that's all I have for you today. Talk to you soon. Bye!